Hello traders and welcome to our market update. It's Stu Naupan here, founder of Master Markets Elite Traders Conference and the Traders Open Day. So today is the 3rd of May 2019. Look at that, time just flies, does it not, traders? It's already the third day of a new month. 5 months have already gone, one more month before we get into mid-year. So looking at our performance for this week in our market update. So before we come to that, I usually will cover a topic. Now, today's topic is how do you actually hold on to a trade, right? I know most of you who have been trading for quite a while would resonate with this topic because, as you know, even though you got all your plan and everything right, but when you get into the moment of things, when you're looking to manage that trade, it becomes a little bit difficult, does it not? So, how do you actually hold on to a trade and follow your plan? Okay, so let's take a look at one of the trades that we were doing this week, which was dollar Swiss, right? So let's take a look at dollar Swiss over here. Now, where, yeah, there is dollar Swiss. Now, if I were to just blank this two bars out, and you can just see that we got only this bar here. Let me just erase that one off. And there you go. I mean, if I were to erase those two off, traders, and this is all you have. Now, this was the FOMC bar, right? When the FOMC statement came out. A bit of erratic movement in the market. Now, we actually entered the trade and we caught this live. If you were on our WhatsApp groups, you would have caught the trade updates and the videos on this as well. You can see that we entered on the short of this, so on the low of that bar, right? Now, this was all going good. I mean, as you can see of the tail of the bar, so the close was almost near to there, and we were just 10 pips, just 10 pips away from target, okay, just 10 pips away from target. And then as you can see, then immediately, then it just shoots up, right? Now, in a trade like that, of course, the natural thing that will happen is that your emotions are flying high because you're seeing your account up in profit, let's say 3-4%, and finally it's coming back all to break even. You're up like only 0.5%, all unrealized profit that we're talking about over here. So how do you, in a situation like that, hold on to your trade and still follow your plan? Or is it even logical even to do that? Or should you do a discretionary trade? So this is what I want to talk to you today. So I would say there's 3 steps to holding on to a trade. Now, the first one, traders, is what we call the intellectual conviction. Okay, intellectual conviction. The intellectual conviction should be in your edge of your strategy. Now, the edge of the strategy basically means on the simple question, okay, and which is what Ray Dalio, the biggest hedge fund manager of the entire world, $160 billion in asset management, keeps asking. And the question is, towards the edge, is why should your strategy continue to work? Why should your strategy continue to work? You see, over the 20,000 traders that we've coached and trained and we have presented in front of, whenever someone comes and tells us, yeah, they've been trading for a long time, it's all going well, and we all usually ask this question, why do you think a strategy should continue to work? And usually you can see that 99% of the traders that we ask this question to will start to fumble, be dumbfounded. I mean, they wouldn't have an answer. Even traders who've been trading professionally for even 7 years, 8 years, they do not have the answer to this. It's a very tough question. And the more and more closer you get to answering that is when you have a strong edge and your edge continues to increase in the market. Okay, of course, the edge will start with principles and some concepts that will continue to recur in the market. Now, once you have those principles strong, then you got to build your parameters, and it all then comes about how efficient you are in building your parameters towards chart reading to match with your age, and then to finally answer the question of why should your strategy continue to work. Okay, so that then continues to the second point, right? So all this is good, right? So intellectually you understand and everything, and why should you continue to work and all that. But of course, as we know, so much for the intellect, but when a trade like this happens in FOMC and you're up all in profit, about 3,000-4,000 pounds in profit, and then suddenly then you're coming up to 500 pounds in profit, right? I mean, all that diminishes away, all unrealized, still not yours yet. But of course, but you don't want it to, right? Because your mind starts to perceive it's as real, it's already yours. So even understanding all of this, I mean, this can still go into the bin, and you can still do whatever that you want over there. So then, how do we then keep the mind still stable? And for that, we need to keep stabilize the emotions. How do we do that? I mean, one thing you got to do is put yourself some reminders, okay? Reminders on what is the natural question that starts to come. Reminders of trade pictures, trade pics on basically that trades that have gone well in your testing, in your back testing whatsoever, that have done similar things like that and has gone in your favor. So for you to hold on. And the other reminder is very, very important, which is cumulative. Now, traders who are not serious will never understand this word cumulative, okay? Now, traders who are serious and want to be in the game for the long run, want to make consistent profits, will totally understand this thing called cumulative. Now, what do I mean by that? That means it's just not about the single trade, traders. It's just not about that. So forget about this thing about just winning in this single trade, unrealized, realized, whatever it is. It's a tough one, I understand, but you have to train your mind to think cumulative. It's the overall set of trades that you take, okay? So that's what you got to fully understand and resonate with, okay? That is what the reminders should all be about. And I know the toughest thing about cumulative is that once you talk about cumulative, time comes into play, is it not, traders? And sometimes in the way that the profits, let's say, are going to be distributed for this year, maybe in the beginning part of the year, it might be a bit slow. So you'll be holding on to some drawdown. But you gotta keep reminding yourself, and that's how this game is, and that's how you make money in this game, is that sometimes you gotta hold on to your drawdowns with that time. And over the time, over cumulative, you have the conviction that your strategy will pull to profit. Now, if you want to reduce your drawdown and make profits consistently over time, sometimes maybe it might not even be the fault of the strategy that you're trading in. Then maybe you may need a combination of strategies that then captures different parts and sections of the market according to time, so that then your drawdown is reduced and you will catch the major runners, so that you will have a consistent equity curve going up to the top all the time. Now that takes a lot of research to do, all right? So for most traders, that would be just be here, be cumulative, hold on to your drawdowns, and keep reminding yourself of the edge and how it has worked in the past. Finally, even with all of this, I know sometimes the emotions can get out of the way. We've been through it before as well. So the final thing I would say, to be, when you're in the trade, to be in the moment. Okay, to be in the moment. All right. Now, how do you be in the moment? How do you stabilize it? I think one very important thing that even Ray Dalio even does it is meditation. Okay, start your day with meditation. Do some breathing exercises. Sometimes when this kind of things happen, take a deep breath in, and sometimes even switch off the screen. Right? If you're not in front of that, how can it then affect you anymore? Go out to the gym, go out for a walk. It doesn't matter, because if you have to close it out at the end of the day. Now, if it's an intraday trade, then yeah, then maybe if you have to look at it every hour, then do that. So just position yourself accordingly so that the distraction is not there, it's not fitting into you, and be in the moment. You must constantly not think about the past or the future. Just be in the moment and just focus on your trade. Now, if some part of the parameter doesn't fit with you, then you got to go back to your drawing board and got to fit it in such a way that the doubt doesn't come when you're in the moment and you've covered all parameters, and when you come out of the trade, you're content. And that's when you know you're progressing as a true professional trader towards consistency and profitability. Right, I guess that's the three things I wanted to say. So just a reminder, intellectual conviction on your age, and the age is based on the question of why must it continue to work. Two, reminders on your trade pictures, using trade pictures of your backtesting from your backtesting. Remind yourself it's all about cumulative, it's just not about single trade. And the third thing, be in the moment. The second and third point is all working on your emotions, and the first point is working on your intellect. Okay, right. Now, with that said, let's take a look at our performance for this week. So what we have here, let me just bring out the Elite Room performance. In terms of the Elite Room performance, as you can see over here, in terms of smart money, we've been flat, so there have been no trades at all so far. Nothing has been fitting our parameters. Swing profit, we had one trade, one small trade over here on the system, and we got 0.07% profit over here. And in terms of prime profits, no trade so far. In terms of gold bars, we did take one trade. That was an Aussie dollar here. And then over here, we did take a 1% hit on that. Okay. And Aussie dollar here was very similar to what I was talking about as well. If you can take a look over here, this Aussie dollar is where we took it over here. We got kicked out by this bar over here. Okay, different strategies to cover for different market conditions. Okay, that's what we are looking at. So then over here, so then what else then do we have? So in terms of Aussie, we lost 1%, but in terms of swing profits over here, in terms of dollar Swiss, we have 0.07. Okay, so minus 1 plus 0.07, so minus 0.93. Okay, minus 0.93 is what we got in terms of the Elite Room, just a little bit under a percent. Okay, now in terms of the live trading room, what we do have was only one trade over here on the lift off, right? So you can see money bars, there wasn't any trade taken here. Um, yes, there was, right? On the 30th of April, that comes into this week. So you can see there was 1% over here that we got. Can you guys see that? 1% profit that we got over here on money bars that we have. Then in terms of liftoff, what do we have? Nope, we do not have anything there. At the moment, we only got a pending. We got actually a live trade. This has become live actually. Gold on cable. And in gold bar system as well, there's no trade so far. Okay, so that's what we've got. So only for this week we've got plus 1% over here on the LTR room. So taking a look at all of that and minus the 0.93%, we got plus 0.07% in terms of the overall results. Okay, that's what we've got in terms of the performance for our room on the trading floor. Okay, so that's 0.07% over here is what we have for this week. Now, in terms of the market update, what do we have over the currencies and the instruments? Dollar Swiss is still on the up. You can see that there's still some strong movement. The next level to be looking at is the swing high here, or else if it does take out this level, then it's further downside as well. Okay, so we'll see how that turns out to be. I would say the higher probability at the moment, I would say. In terms of a technical basis, yes, it's towards the downside, but however, using price action and looking at the overall picture, strength is still towards the upside. I'll be looking at this to be taken out for today. Okay, so and into the coming week, if it does take that long. Now, in terms of dollar yen, it's still in an uptrend. Swing high here is still not confirmed. Okay, so all it's saying is that the downside here, there's a bit of weakness here. So again, I'll be taking a look at towards the upside. All right. Next, cable. Let me see. What do we have? Yes, cable a little bit more to the downside here. 130 level, isn't it? 130 level. Very strong, strong, strong level what we are looking over here. So let's see how it does do towards that. It's hovering around there. Still showing a little bit of strength towards the downside. I'll be taking a look more to the downside. You can see that it's gone through the 50. Looks like a stop taking bar. Run through the stops there, rebounded, coming back further down. All right. So let's see if that sustains. Euro dollar, yeah. So euro dollar, we got more strength towards the downside as well, as you can see. Again, this has been a very strong stop taking bar, is it not, traders? Huh? Over here is what we had. Right, so okay, so we couldn't take all of that because of the range of the bars, but it is what it is. Bitcoin still towards the upside, taking out this last swing. I think there's more movement to the upside. FTSE still uptrend, very strong, strong primary today as well. Let's see if it does go on to take that. Oil a little bit of down to the downside, $61 for barrel. Gold, as you can see over here, is a downtrend. But however, do remember on gold, I was taking a look at it just now. It's even though it's a down on the daily, it's up on the weekly, right? So at some point, the trend on the downside might end for it to come back on the weekly time frame. So let's take a look on that. And what we actually are having over here, what are we actually having over here, really? Let me take a look on the low of that, right? 1266.17. 126. It's already taken it out already, isn't it, traders? So yeah, so we can see where it's going to turn in terms of that's a 50% retracement already. Probably it will go through that a little bit more to get through the stops, and then maybe then we can start to see a reversal, which we can then position ourselves onto the shorter time frames. So that's what something that we can be doing in terms of gold, okay? So that's what we can be taking a look at. Right, next, Aussie. Aussie. Still on a downward movement at the moment. It did take out its last low. I would say still a bit more down movement to go. Stops taken out, then taken out its low, then become a turning point, basically. Okay, that's what we got. What we've seen also is that if within 3 bars it doesn't confirm its low, there's a higher probability that will start to fail. Euro yen, yeah, up, but still on the downside. Probably more momentum towards the downside here. Probably will take out its low. And finally, the Dow. Dow, what you can see is that we've been observing it quite a bit. The highs are getting all smaller. If you can start to see, there's a bit of divergence happening. It's going up higher, but then the close prices are not really, isn't it? Traders, look at that. It's almost stagnant, right? So we are going to see a top coming out very soon, and let's start to then see where the opportunities are. The first level to break is this one here, 26088. Okay. All right. I guess that's pretty much that from me as of now. So digest all the information, especially holding on to a trade. Keep practicing on it. I mean, we do it ourselves over here at Vedanta Trading as well. So look into all of that, and that will help you constantly when you reflect on this knowledge and practice it and live it. That's when you become to trade like a master. All right, traders, till the next time, as we always say, stay disciplined, follow your trading plan, and keep trading like a master.